it's not going.
But this is, yeah, there it is. See?
Okay, now it is.
Yeah.
So it's going.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody's tuned in right now to 5, they're listening to us.
So let me just go over here on sheet 5.
Okay.
And the range on these is fine. It is working, right? Yeah.
You have it up over
I got 5 on, but and the sound is not muted.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Try the other one, Joe.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. I think what's going on is that this. So how about now? Hello. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Is there a...
Hello. Well, it wouldn't be registering here if that was the case. This is how I connect into this is my iPhone, and so I guess I was assuming that needed to happen. But if there's like a Bluetooth connection to this computer,
There's supposed to be the...
it clearly is connected. Is there a way to like listen with headphones on that computer?
I can try pulling up on my phone.
Even if it's just somebody standing outside the door. Oh, okay. We're good.
So
Testing 1, 2. Alright. Testing 1, 2. Sounds like our audio is up and running here. Sheet 5, Chaska Curling Center, 2025 Twin Cities Curling Association Invitational. We have 5 dedicated ice curling clubs in the Twin Cities. We ask that at the end of the season, all 5 send us their top 2 teams. We spend 2 days over the course of 4 draws, settling it once and for all which club has the best team and which curling club, through a point system, sent us the 2 best teams. So we are settling 2 things: the best team in the Twin Cities as well as the best curling club in the Twin Cities. We'll do our best to make sure every club is represented over the next 4 draws. That is impossible with 10 teams, but we do have our opening game today being represented by Dakota. They sent over Team Mentor, and Frogtown sent over Team Silverness. Looks like Silverness is throwing Yellow Rocks first. Stone away from Rob Enberg. Silverness was the runner-up in the Frogtown Playdowns. The other Frogtown team is Team Downs. I'll have my little gophers running me information about other sheets and some other scores, which I can see, but I'll be a little distracted here. So I'll try to keep people updated about what's going on. The Chaska Curling Center's YouTube channel does have the other sheets being streamed right now. We're utilizing sheets 2 through 6, so I invite you to click around and take a look out for the teams you're looking for there. Rob's first throw does go into the rings. Mentor is throwing Hammer Red Rock. We've got Todd Kuss throwing this. Came up a little light centerline guard for the Hammer team. Rob being asked to come around at all. Sweeper's on it to go by. Probably a little less curl than they were hoping to, but I think they're finishing it off just nice. Stone's about half peak in there. Todd Kuss second. Asked to do a tough double there. He does get a little too low, slides over the top, one removed. Silverness second, David Whitman. Sweepers hit it at the break. Tracking pretty nice. We'll see if Silverness wants to take on this double. It's pretty thin. Opting to come around. Shot in the 8-foot is mostly open, half open, so they're not too worried about that yet. I worry if they put one right in the correct spot when they go to deal with that later, if they'll set it up for a jam. This does look light and over curling. Doesn't seem like it's taken access to the shot stone in the 8-foot from the outturn side. So, too much damage there. Mentor likes what they see. Silverness looking to guard. Women shot away. See if just how far back they take it. Slides it about even. Nice shot. No obvious double there. Shot is about half open there. Looks like Mentor is electing to take that on. I take that back. Come around everything. Another light and over curl. I think Mentor's going to find themselves in a pretty tough shot after this next throw. See if Silverness can get this guard where they want it. Twin Cities curling legend Lionel Locke is substituting on Team Silverness. They had Peter Okamoto wasn't able to make it today, so he stepped in. If you ever get a chance to have a beer with Lionel, I suggest you do it. He is hilarious. Got to know him up at USA Curling Nationals up in Duluth this year. Mentor calling for about a hack weight. Want to hit what they can see. Hopefully a roll, do a soft roll under that yellow corner. It's going to need to curl. That was offline. I think making the most of it. Trying to get low side on this yellow is about the best they could hope for. A little too slow to switch to plan B there. Goes through the uprights. Silverness going to continue to build up. Lionel does appear to be the only player that wanted to express himself through loud pants. I am a fan. I celebrate that. And I think the rest of this crew should try harder. Great shot from Lionel. It is We do have an extra camera here that you don't see. I would call that a biter. Love that spot. Red does get a stone into a better spot. I think Silverness has to be a little careful here. There's sort of a round-the-world takeout that could maybe even get 3 yellows moving. So I think they want to guard this pretty close to where Lionel's last shot went. This is Frogtown Team Silverness to skip Ron Silverness. Shot away, they just saw this line, so I'm suspecting we'll see something good here. Going a little deeper than they'd want. See if they choose to bring it in even further. Possibility to get some stones moving here. Really just depends on which stone you want to hit first. The stone on the center line, say a skinny half open. With hitting this outside one first, I think you could roll up a little bit, get maybe 2 moving, and maybe even get this a little half buried. Dave Mentor's first. Dave Mentor skip. See if he can get his team out of some trouble here. Crash up high. Team Silverness with a huge opportunity here. Really put some pressure on. I think if this is made, Team Mentor's going to be stuck trying to draw the side of the forefoot on the outturn side. I don't see any other super obvious way to get them out of this. Even if it was full 8 or just touching 4, you'd do yourself a great service to mitigate a lot of that damage. This one could be under curling. We might be able to see a stone here on the center line. My apologies. I'm getting a note here that the shot order of Team Mentor is a little different. So Tim Gardner is actually throwing last. I should know Tim better. His signature gym shorts. I've seen him at many bonspiels. I don't know if I've ever played against him. With that crash, they gave themselves a little bit of an out with a hit and roll on this outside yellow. So it'd have to be a pretty straight roll to mitigate the damage that they're hoping it will. So expect some heat on this. Opting to go a little more precise. I think with this hack weight, I guess he was going for the draw all along. think the crash on that red would have been my concern all along. It was a little more of a path on the other side, but it does take away 3 yellow scores, so I think Team Silverness is pretty happy with how that started.
Well, I think that should be a push. The TCCA rep is got to keep it in
Mentor gave me a little shucks. We'll get him this end look. I know it well. See if Silverness just elects to come into the house on this. I think with the lead as it is, nobody would fault him for it. It's going to come up real tight 3-guard. Nothing wrong with this. Take it back. We're in the house. I'll let these guys warm up a little bit, and then we'll see if we can clock some split times. Chaska Ice is known to be fast, known to be swingy. Always fun to play on. Mentor electing to come around. I don't know what scenario they would need to see to justify throwing some corner guards, but maybe liking that lead's draw weight, and I guess you can't argue with that. That's a pretty good spot. I think Rob's got this weight down. Looking for a corner freeze. We're going to clear the guard. I think we've got a good one here. Just a little tap. Great job. Great job by Rob there. Todd Kess second. Asked to duplicate his first shot. See if he can keep the angles working. This one does look light though. I think they should let this one hog out. It's not going to do him any good up there. Which they tried and succeeded. So, plan A, plan B, plan C. Silverness liking what they see. Gonna have David throw another one right on the center line here. It's got the weight to get a tap. We'll see if it curls over nice. Looks like it's just going to be a little outside. I've already got one lineup error on Team Mentor, so I will operate under the assumption that that's Steve's Bone Show. Sweeper's going hard to try to avoid the crash, but unable to do so.
We'll see. We'll figure out. You know, we've got a couple different proposals that we'll work out. Like one guy suggested.
Tough from my angle to see which stone is sitting shot, but I definitely know that I'd rather be Silverness in this scenario, being at T-line. Just a light clean on it. This one will need to curl.
Assuming team for racing. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we'll see.
Great spot.
I mean, if we're losing by one, maybe it's not that you don't have it.
Assuming that Silverness is sitting shot. Now that some skips got out of the way, I feel pretty confident that they are. One Stroh's shakeout is over curling on them. It does change those angles, which were never really working for them. I think that's a great result. We'll see how long it lasts, but that stagger on the back four there was never really going to help him out. Lionel being asked to come down and tap. There's probably only a stone peeking out there, so there's not too much weight they can hit it with, but I think with the back line, hoping to get it moving a little bit, be sitting two. I think the double will be there if this is made, but it's sitting in a good spot. This is not curling fast enough. Could have been just a little offline. Just got the just low side of nose and just moved over just a little bit. We'll see if the nose hits the call. It looks like he's throwing maybe hack weight to get the nose on this. Sweeper's on it early. He was tight from that broom. I think they can get a good result out of this if they hold it. It's coming down too hard. Now I'm back to a state of unknowing. Silverness wants it out. Tough to say who shot. Either way, red's got to go away. Starting to move here. Sweeper's on it. Maybe just a little late on that. But made it go away. Enter sitting second shot, so nice little hit and roll under those somewhat staggered yellow. Could give him a little protection. think with Mentor's overcurl on his first, there might have been a bit of an overcorrection there. Silverman's going top 8 foot, choosing not to deal with the second shot. I think this is a fine call. I think showing Skip them sitting 5 would have been pretty compelling, but a little bit of an ad here. The sweepers had to wait for it to break if they're going to get it online. It's going to be a little higher than they wanted, but comes in nicely. I think with it coming up high like this, Mentor sees a way out. They're going to come corner freeze the shot, sitting under cover. If made, this is going to come really close to that guard, I think. I think this is an aggressive broom for them. I think step 1 is to be under guard. Step 2 would be to be frozen. So we'll see if this, and it is a little tight. The weight's there. Yeah, the sweeper's got to be hitting it. I think plan B, move it over and try to open it up for second is a good result. Let's see if Silverness can make the adjustment. I think that tolerance is going to be in the house. I don't think you can give them another open draw like that. This one has more on it. Let's see if we can get the second shot. Coming up light again, I think. Once again, Mentor has a shot here to get out of this. Not liking the angles for the draw, so I think they're electing to make contact and possibly lose their shooter, but get their point from second shot here. That stone is essentially buried, so this will have to be a precise shot with the possibility of a jam too. This might not get him anything. Sweeper's gotta go. Gotta go. It's a little timid on the line calls. Steal a one. We'll see if Team Mentor can make the adjustments. I think with this big lead, they're going to have to make some pretty precise hits. They're going to have to find doubles where they can. We've already seen that Sylvanus is going to start with a couple rocks in the house. If we don't see some corner guards and a real aggressive push to get a deuce here, you might see a mini revolt from one commentator. I think playing in the middle is right where Sylvanus wants it to be for the next two ends and then handshakes, so it's time for Mentor to get pretty aggressive. Luckily, Rob's over curling for Team Mentor, so they'll be happy to hopefully be able to nudge that later. They are electing to call the corner guard. Coming from the outside, I think with the amount of curl we're seeing, this could, we do have a lefty. I don't know how much that changes things, but this thing could very likely over curl and be a center guard. Or it could hog up. Sylvanus having Rob go for the top 12 here on the other side. I just trying to choke off both sides of the draw path. It's a little unorthodox. I don't hate it. I think after some things get moved around, Mentor might be able to hide some stones. So I don't know if I love it, but shot called, shot made. Whatever. Mentor electing to come around. I think they've been lured into a bit of a trap here. Both of those Rob Engberg throws are nice and tight to the house, so taps and raises are going to be on the menu here pretty soon, and I don't think they're opposed to doing that at all. Gonna have to go to get this one around though. Just do, great sweep. There's a bit of a port. It's fully open through the port. Looking for something. Dave's calling peel. Skip's thinking maybe something more normal, but port's there. The stagger's in the right way for this turn. Second from Frogtown gets an opportunity to have a glamour shot here. Rob holding the line. Overcurl, we do have a crash on the outside one with a little tap. Mentor good to sweep it out. Choosing not to split the house, like his second shot sitting on top of the first. Sweeper's gonna have to go. Going to over curl and be light. I think we'll see something, maybe board weight. Try to get low side, roll just a little bit. There's the board weight call. Shots online. starting to move. I don't see them getting low on this, but let's see if they can get some contact. Unable to remove it, and it actually kind of rolled to a good spot for Mentor. The jam is there. So, let's see if Mentor can manufacture a deuce out of this. Sweeper's not touching it. We'll see if it's behind T-line, if Silverness attacks it or if they like to sit on top. This is going to go quite a bit deep. So there is an opportunity for a double out here. Take it back. That stone is gone. Line's draw a little wide. Sweeper's not touching it. Hard to see this one getting under cover. If it even stays for shot. So another good for Mentor here. We'll see. Adjustments can be made. Team Mentor kind enough to join us at the Invitational. Dakota Curling Club has their version of an ice out type bonspiel, Cinco de Mayo, which I've heard is a ton of fun, and most of the clubs at Dakota sign up for that early, and they have no idea if they're going to win their club championships or not, and so it's always a little bit of a scramble to see if we can manufacture two teams from Dakota, because the last 2 years this has coincided. Coming up light and over curling again. Lionel opting to hit the open red. No reason not to. The other team from Dakota this year is Team Adair. Per my sheet, I've got Leslie Adair skipping that one. We'll see when we release the schedule if we've got a sheet with commentary with their game. Sweeping to curl here. There's a jam on that side too. Silverness is bending over backwards to hand over a deuce to Team Mentor here. We'll see if this can happen. Oh, I got this. Anybody can. Sure. Whatever. TCCA President Amanda talking about potential co-commentators and their comfort for broadcasting, to which I said, that's irrelevant. Get him in here. Shot made. Buried. That guard is high enough. I think with hack weight we could get a hit on it. Looks like they're favoring the in-turn and just trying to get the shot, not trying anything with the out-turn double. Perfect spot though from Dave Mentor's shop. This broom makes me think that they're going back line or space weight. Shout out to St. Paul Curling Club, space weight. And I think you can get that red to move, but with that jam back there, I think the chance of hitting and rolling open and giving up and putting 3 on the board is Sweeper's going hard to get around. Silverness said you've got 2 nice rocks back there. Let's guard those up for you. He's going to want that one back. Tim Gardner being asked to draw the port. I think anywhere on that center line or even half tucked under that high corner would be fine. Can't just be biting though. There's that yellow in the back. Would love for this to be a 3rd shot. Tim Gardner asking the broom to be brought in. Still trying to make those adjustments. I think their tendency has been to be a little tight, a little light, getting aggressive with the broom. Help to get it under cover, but it'd be a real shame if you were to crash on that guard and open up shot rock. This one doesn't seem in danger of doing that. Got to wait for the break to get around the other corner. Sweeper's got to go. Tight guard. Let's see what Silverness sees. Lionel advocating to come and sit on top of 2nd shot. I do think that Mentor's last shot does effectively take away any comfortable draw. Any out turn to get to the 4-foot would probably be open. So I don't hate this. It's got to be made, or else the out turn draw for 3 will be too obvious to pass up. I think line is the most important thing here, and this one does look outside. Plan B in off your own is a possibility, but you'd have to go early. Lionel electing to wait for the break. I think the weight was probably never there for that. That's a beaut. It's a great spot. Tough to see that going away. I think Team Mentor's draw that came up light is taking away any sort of tap on that side. Electing to try to get the deuce around the outside. Touching 4 would do it. Tim Gardner throwing last stones for Team Mentor. Got one in his pocket. Looking for the outside touch forefoot. He did throw, his first shot was the same out turn, little different path. Let's see if they can make the adjustments. Weight's been an issue, so I think the sweeper should be a little more broom ready. This one is going to be close. But once again, coming up light. No worries though. Monkey off their back. Team Mentor scores 1. We'll see if Team Mentor just suffers from something teams that I skip sometimes suffer from, which is we just don't want this hammer anymore. Score a point, get rid of hammer, get something going in the middle. It can do wonders. Centerline guard. You know, one thing I should talk to Amanda when she comes around. I'm not sure if we're playing the no-tick rule. My guess is that we are not playing the no-tick rule, just because most clubs elect not to. At least that's been my experience. I know with the qualifiers and official stuff, they bring it in and that announcement's made, but I should probably know that. Silvernest coming to the wings here. Good spot, most likely ignored. Todd Kess being asked to put one behind his first throw here. Great shot. Peeking out a little bit on the other side, but great sweep. I think Ron's thinking with this much curl, he can get to it, tap it out even a little bit more. Pretty aggressive shot. I think knowing that you could hit that guard over is just fine with them. Tapping it back probably wasn't. Tapping it back to that spot probably wasn't what he had in mind. See how aggressive Mentor gets on trying for a steal here. I think you'd like to see this one stay high. Fortunately, I think with this spot, we're either going to see the run back. Looks like what Silverness is electing to do. Could elect to hit about a fourth of that stone and get two moving that way. I think the hit stone would spill out, but this is just fine. Dave had that opportunity for the nose hit last end and was just over curled just a bit, so he's chomping at the bit to get a second crack at one of these. Very close, opens him up. Steve being asked to put one on the center line. This one does look like it's going to go around. Ooh, breaking hard though. I don't think they have to get too fancy here. If you can get a little low on this, the hit stone and the one next to it should go. Closer to nose, just the one. I've just got a nice column here. I think it's going to be a little frustrating to try to get all of these removed. I don't see Silverness selecting to come around any of this and just go for one anytime soon. I think we'll see some more hits. No obvious triple on that column. I do see a bit of a double. It'd have to be precise. Tough to see from your cameras, but we've got about 4 inches from the first stone to the second and maybe 2 inches from the second stone to the third, with a little bit of a stagger. That yellow on the corner is not touching. Doesn't like to come around, doesn't like this column. Well, he's throwing options out. Final column for the hit. Coming around will always be there. They are sitting 2. Yellow is third shot. See if Lionel can get a couple going here. I think it looks a lot better. Basically peeled away one of those guards, but did get one of the shots in the house moving. It's going to be a lot tougher to really go hard for a steal here, but a force is definitely still on the table. With how those shook out, it's tough for me to tell who's sitting second. There just seems to be a magnet in the ice for Team Mentor in that spot right there. A little bit of separation between the 1 in the 12 and 1 in the 8. The 2 and the 12 are side by side and frozen. I like this call. I think if you pop this on the center line side of nose, 2 go away and the middle red might even trickle out. That's how Lionel was putting the sauce on this one. This is probably 2 seconds faster than his last takeout. Didn't quite get to that spot. Definitely solved the who is sitting second shot problem. Mentor keeps opting to group those stones, so my guess is they're hoping to steal here, but I think a force would have been a smart call as well. We'll see if this one breaks enough to go to the magic spot that all Mentor rocks seem to be desiring to go. This one is a little wider. I do believe Silverness will have a little bit of a crotch double here. I think they're opting to just hit and stay on top. I think he's going nose hit on this one. Maybe a little bit of a flop to the right as I'm looking at it. Skipper on Silverness's first here. This one is curling early. Oh, I had my turns wrong there. Electing to hit the lower stone. Did corner freeze. I think if I Mentor, I'm either hitting that open one or drawing. I don't think you can remove that second shot yellow without leaving kind of an obvious double, but if you did stay put there, I'm not positive a nose hit after that would give Silverness 2, so I think what I'm reading from the broom there is we're looking for a draw. It's a little bit of a tap. Create some separation between the two reds. Hoping to be sitting 2. Pretty precise shot. Tim Gardner's last. Just down to it. With a little tap there too, they did create enough separation. Lionel shouting down to Ron Silverness that he thinks the double is there. Just asking him which turn he prefers. Well made shot. Could result in 3 here. Lionel saying no on the sweep. Great shot right out of his hand. 3 more on the board for Silverness. It was an interesting end. I think once it became apparent that that column of mentors was broken up and the steel was maybe starting to go away and there were really no guards to speak of. Force would have been an option. They had many chances towards the end to hit the open one and split the house, electing to kind of play the corner freeze game, and they paid the price for it. Enberg's first is going deep and out. Shoulder shrug. Not a problem there with a lead like this. Still have yet to see a true corner guard called and made out of Team Mentor. Even this one does appear that it'll be kind of in that shoulder spot. Not quite center, not quite corner. It is curling up nice though. Does keep it out of the house. So game on. Silverness going for this kind of hybrid center corner, kind of just a mirror opposite of what Mentor just threw. Did this 2 ends ago too. Not gonna say I've never seen it, but I've seen people sort of manage an end where that might be a good result. It is interesting to see him start with this strategy. This one coming in the house, so gives Mentor something to hit if they want. Realistically, Mentor should be throwing a corner guard to the other side. And has to set up a big end. Electing for the hit and roll here. Obviously, anytime you get a chance to have a player throw a similar shot twice, that's great. Also, when it's, maybe just the right call, that's nice. Hitting this and rolling under probably feel good for about a minute. But that other guard is so short. This one's going to stay high side. So a little roll out. I think stone removal is the name of this game. I didn't see if Ron was calling for a roll in one particular direction or the other. I think nosing this is just fine. Gonna get low on it. Looks like it is gone. This stone will slide out. Peter, you should come in. We have 3 people watching right now. Yeah. We were as high as 6 for a moment there.
Are there any frog hunters that are going to fact check my
Rebecca Peichel just chimed in that she's listening, so. Rebecca Peichel? Trying to get Peter Hovland on the mic here. I tried to lure him in with the extremely low viewer count. It looks like it worked. I'm going to play with your microphone for a second here. Rebecca, I'm counting on you to let me know that this is working just fine.
Rebecca's going to fill you.
Introduce yourself, Peter.
All right, give us a thumbs up that we're on.
Well, that's what I'm waiting for her to do there. There is like a 10-second delay, so I expect confirmation to be coming pretty shortly here. We picked a real barn burner here. Speaking of Frogtown, Team Silverness is pouring it on.
Except for that shot.
Well, and I think they've been just fine. Their tolerance for every shot this end has been to be heavy and just out. Rob's initial throws were out.
I've been watching the other frog team on sheet 3.
They are red, I'm assuming?
Yes.
So yeah, I suppose an update is in order, but it is tough because I've got names on this side, but I've got scores down there. I've always thought we should be putting names down there.
That would make sense. It'd have to be huge, though.
Rebecca, chime in if you can hear Peter. I'm assuming his microphone is green, but
It should be good.
we never know.
Anyways, Peter Hovland,
Peter's
currently the TCCA rep for Frogtown Curling Club, past presidents from the club, when they leave, move over to the TCCA rep for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think Frogtown has it set up so the vacating president comes over to TCCA.
Yep.
I think with like Eric and outgoing St. Paul rep Colin Simpson, they actually try to do both roles at the same time. Right? Is that
Do
right? Yeah, and he's not president; he's on the board, I should say.
Yeah.
I think if you're on the board, you kind of have that dual citizenship. I can see value in both ways.
Nothing from Rebecca right now, so I'm safe.
I think once you jumped on, Rebecca was like, I have to wash my hair. I have to do yard work. We're down to 2. Some of that is us being hard to listen to. The other is this game has been...
Yeah, so how's the game been going?
Well...
Has it been close and they just hitting that last rock out?
Tough to say.
They've gotten big ends every time.
Team Mentor
4
has been struggling with draw weight. And they've just been coming up light and not been able to really put any pressure on Silverness. So, after kind of an initial big end of 4, which is what Silverness started with, they've pretty much been in the driver's seat.
Well, the other team needs to take some risks, which can go both ways.
Totally. They were on the previous end. They had scored in the third. So they did give up hammer, and so they were trying to steal, obviously, as much as they could. But the end really never set up for it. Their initial centerline guards over-curled a bit, and everything kind of curled over to the edge of the forefoot, and so they never really had a perfect steal. They were leaving full forefoot open, and they never really transitioned into maybe we should just force in this end.
Yeah.
And they had a real nice column of red about 2 feet too far to the side. If that column, which was literally 4 stones at one point, most of them practically frozen, if that had been on the center line, they would have had a real good opportunity to steal 1, 2, 3. but it was just too far over, and Silverness
They were able
just
to
kept-
get in there?
Yeah, Silverness just started committing to blowing it up with really no risk because they knew the draw to the 4-foot was always going to be there. They got Lionel had a nice double that really changed the angles on it, and then Silverness just kind of kept going from there.
We were up to 4 for a second there, and now we're back down to 2.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Frogtown. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, we should talk about Frogtown. What's
We're
going on
both
at Frogtown?
Frogtowners. We're ice is melted. I got a picture right here I can show you, but it was just there.
Oh, wow.
We painted the houses for the first time, and the remnants of the paint is on the sand right now. It's pretty cool.
Is that okay that that's still there, or do you want those faded things to be? If you ever change it, would it be a problem, or?
No, he's gonna rake that away, and
Oh, it's just sand.
It's just
okay.
sand.
I got
It's
you.
paint on sand.
Yeah.
So he'll kind of pick it up. So whether we do that again is TBD. It's a lot of work, but it's awesome looking house.
When you guys are talking about upcoming seasons and stuff like that, do you guys ever discuss altering the houses in any way? Because I think you guys do. And I'm a Frogtown member too, but don't we do all one color on one side, all
They're all one color everywhere.
everywhere? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys ever talk about playing around with them? Chaska seems to elect for the red 12-foot and the blue 12-foot on the same sheet.
Well, there was some talk of buying the old houses from here, so then we would automatically get the alternating colors.
The only value I see in that is that, if you are streaming a game, I don't know, it's not too hard to infer which, because the curling stadium style is, 2 zoomed in cameras on the houses. In theory, you could quickly determine which house is the away house and which one isn't. I don't see that as being a huge problem, but
Yeah, you almost need a little, explanation of what's what. I'm old school, so I go with the same. I like the same colors
yeah,
on both sides because
this doesn't look good. The Chaska setup doesn't look good.
yeah,
to you?
you're like one end you're like hit the red, and the other end you're hit the blue.
Yeah, I could see it that way. What about sponsorships in the houses? Have we ever talked about that at Frogtown?
We like to keep the ice nice and neat.
Yeah.
And things, so the sponsors have been on the wall,
Yeah,
and we haven't talked about putting it on the
Yeah.
ice.
I think as we surpassed 1,000 YouTube subscribers,
It might happen.
We should start to think about our media presence.
Yeah.
It is something we have to think about. But
So then, like ads in the house,
yeah. But
you're looking right down at them.
I've seen so many that are so busy
Yeah.
that it drives me crazy. And I've also seen ones where it's the colors of the stones are sort of mixed in with these logos.
Yeah.
This is a bad example. They have a red 12-foot here and a red house. And, nobody's really complaining that red gets lost in there. But they're solid colors. When you have red in like a busy logo or something, all of a sudden there's a stone tucked in there somewhere.
Yeah, we lose our frogs on the buttons, and then the sheet A has the maple leaf.
Saw that.
I mean, that's classic. We got
I like that. Yeah. We're just sort of at the mercy of what this end is doing here. It does look like, Mentor's got the potential for a big end here. They're sitting 3.
Yeah. Behind a lot of
The
guard.
1 or 2 Dakota viewers are probably screaming like, "We've actually got something cooking here. What are you guys talking about?" They had another, as Lionel holds that broom there, it's reminding me of, must have been the second end. Team Mentor did have what looked like a 2 or 3 kind of brewing, and they got, I can't remember if Ron threw it or if Lionel threw it. They essentially parked on second shot, undercover, took it all away, and that must have been the third end, because that was when Team Mentor scored their 1. That 1 looked like it could have been a 2 or 3 for a hot minute there, and really kind of keep this game going. It really came down to a kind of a tough line too, like a really wide in-turn draw that really just skinnied a guard. And
It's heavy. Is it curling enough at the end to hook under?
yeah. I think one of the things that Team Mentor's been struggling with is over curling. I think they're getting a lot of tuck. Like I said, when they had their column of red on this home side sheet, I don't think they necessarily wanted it to be a perfectly in line column. It almost seemed like every time they would adjust the broom, it would curl a little bit more, and so they kept drawing to the same spot. So I think if you asked Team Sylvanus, it'd say, yeah, this is great ice. We're getting all the curl we need. And then Team Mentor would probably say it's maybe curling a little unpredictably, or it's curling too much.
I've only curled here once during the big spiel this season. And with all the talk years after year of the ice is so fast.
It is
so fast. My first throw was 470, and they had to pound it for a number one. They got it over,
Yeah.
unbelievably, but it's not like
You said it was your first throw. Would you
first throw.
Would that throw 4 ends later?
Well, it was 410s. You know,
Yeah.
it was fast,
Yeah.
but not like I was like, oh my god, I had to basically slide, fall over, and let go of the rock.
Okay. So we're watching our delayed camera. Viewers already know this, but it does look like a big end, bounce back end for Team Mentor there. So let's do this. I'll wait to see it go up on the board, but yeah, 4 from Team Mentor. Ron Silverness gives it the shit. Wait.
Made it a game.
I'm speaking on Chaska's public YouTube channel. I didn't say that. I meant oh shoot. Oh shoot. Keep thinking-
Rebecca has said that she can hear us finally, so that's good. Or bad.
Poor Rebecca, watching 5U from home. Rebecca worked harder than anyone, traveled the country, played in 17 5U qualifying events.
I know.
It was close. Got into a litigious fight. Oh, you'll get them
Yeah, we
next
were
year,
rooting for
Rebecca.
her.
You'll get them next year. She was safe. I made it to 3. I obviously did our Frogtown one with essentially my Tuesday night curling team. We went 1 and 3 in pool play. Met some guys from Chicago there. Went down to the Heather Curling Club, which is in Mapleton, which is a great 4-sheeter down south of Mankato.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there? Mm-hmm. Super cool. The vibe is the building's been there forever. Love that club. Shout out to them. Had a great run there. We, me and the boys from Chicago. Shout out to Windy City and those guys too. We came second in our pool, and last shot draw is obviously so important for that. We had one of the top last shot draws of like all the teams competing. And so with our Frogtown setup, it was the winner of all the pools win, and then it goes. We would take some kind of wild cards, and a couple people in second place from various pools could go based on their last shot draw and their record. So we operated the first 2 days thinking, keep this up. I think, as soon as you get that first loss, you realize you're probably not going to win your pool. It wasn't until we found some draw board pinned up somewhere that it was just the winners of the pool going up onto the next round deflated us.
Yeah.
That was our best chance. And then I actually got a chance to fly out to Denver, and Nancy out of Denver paired me up with three 5U players from Denver who were interested in playing but needed a skip and just hadn't found a team. So flew out to Denver, met these guys essentially right before our first game. 1 and 3.
Yeah.
I kind of had this romantic idea that I would go out to Denver, and me and a ragtag group of 5U curlers would all get to know each other and have chemistry right away. And that was not the case. Competition at Denver was, of the 3 5Us, the competition in Denver was probably the toughest. It seemed like there was a lot of really well-organized teams, coordinated, practice, probably on their 5th, 7th, 5U qualifier. It was late in the season, too, so it was also one that teams were signing up for as kind of a last chance. So, like, the 5U season was winding down, and there were teams that really wanted to qualify, and so Really good competition. Tons of fun. Great club.
The Denver comes here a lot for big spiel.
For the
There's
big
probably
spiel,
5
yeah.
teams. Maybe?
Yeah. I bumped into some people that looked familiar, and I was rocking all my TCCA gear and swag, so people knew. It's kind of funny when you get outside the Twin Cities and even the state, how many people know about this group. And
Yeah.
well, I'll tell you what, Team Mentor is. They've got the setup that they need.
Double centers.
We'll see if Silverness can do something with this. Dave's been asked to throw quite a few of these, and I would say he's shooting 75% on it. He's making contact. He's been asked to draw some or throw some tough ports and stuff, but we'll see if he can get both these moving. Single peel would be okay too.
Just gonna nose it. Looks like. That's good. They didn't fall for the trap of just drawing behind those
Yeah.
with the hammer. You want to clear up those.
Steve Boncho's shot coming down. Seen a lot of crashing on the guards at this point, and not a lot of urgency out of the sweepers. And again, the tolerance for this team to crash rather than maybe be back 4, back 8 is a. I think it's working against them.
Yeah. Talking about the sweepers, after this game, we're going to be hosting a strongman competition with the Smurf rooms.
So talk more about that.
So the TCCA has Smurf rooms that they bought for the clubs. Thanks, Joe.
Or just in your comment, Rebecca. Keep going with the smart rooms.
So yeah, part of the mission of TCCA is for training and clinics and improvement of players, and sweeping is a big part of that. So yeah, there's the clubs have smart rooms, which can measure your sweeping strength, push strength, return strength, push and pull, frequency,
Yeah.
and put together a sweeping index. So we're going to have everyone take a turn on the smart room and see who's the best sweeper here.
So we're actually going to award some sort of award for that too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
We do. I know we have it set up to do men's and women's.
It'll be separate, yeah.
Do we only? How many women do we have? I know it was low because the other Dakota team. I mean, actually, that could be Leslie Adair right there. Yeah, I believe it is. She might just default.
She might be
She's
the-
a skip too. She might look at that and say, "I don't even want to play that game." Well, congratulations, Leslie Adair, on your TCCA women's sweeping.
She's the champion right
Champion.
now. Just give it to her.
I don't even think she knows.
We need to get her number, though. Let's see.
Yeah. Everyone's got to get their smart broom number. The time I used the smart broom, I'm convinced my smart broom was broken, and it spit out these comically low numbers. I don't think those could be real. When
We were just looking at it. It's amazing. You have someone that's 110 push, 40 pull, and their frequencies average. They get a number, and then someone does 40 push, 40 pull, and a high frequency, and they just real high numbers. So it's like a combination of all the techniques to get that perfect sweep.
I love that there's that variable of the frequency that small people, petite people, skinny people, they always have that in their back pocket. If you watch like the Korean women and stuff like that, their cadence is like rapid, and they need it. They can't weigh more than 100 pounds each, but the frequency that they achieve is certainly affecting the stone. So it's nice. I'll throw out another the dichotomy of men and women sweeping. I don't remember who it was that came up with this idea, but we all know about black foam and how this space age hard foam is changing the game, and it'll soon be regulated and stuff like that. But what if women, not just women, but anyone who is questionable or questions how hard they can push and pull is allowed to use black foam, much in the same way that we curlers use stabilizers. Some people use, there's 24 different types of stabilizer, and some people use their brooms, and there's a lot, and some people do stick curling, and we don't sit there and regulate that into oblivion. What about foam density as just another thing? It's like an equalizer, maybe.
So people with a low sweeping index are allowed to use the.
Yeah. Now you'd see guys like mentors Tim Gartner using the black foam, and you'd be like, "Hey, you beast of a man, you don't get to use that."
Yeah.
Or you wouldn't say you don't get to, but you do the thing that we all do.
But his
which is
frequency might be low, and he doesn't get a sweeping index that's high. Who knows?
well, that's why we're gonna have to get his number.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get his sweeping number. All right, let's see if Silverness can fight off this insurgent attack here.
We're still sitting one.
Potential for a bad outcome here if you hit this just right. Didn't run that other red back to their yellow. I thought I saw that coming, but cleaned it up a little bit. Rebecca, we're just reading your comment. The trail of defeated teams and close calls was epic. They will write poems about it. It was a great effort. It was better than my feeble efforts. And in our talks, I believe you have more time left in your 5U career, right? So much like the LA Lakers, you'll have an off season here to think about it, make the adjustments, come back stronger next year.
What about you? Are you aging out?
I'm aging out, yeah. Which is ironic because I sort of just discovered how fun they were in my last year, and it's killing me. I would have been doing them like crazy before this if I'd known.
I didn't know if it was the thing. I've been 13 or 14 years. Was it a thing back?
I don't know. When
9 years ago?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Never heard of it.
It wasn't until
I wasn't looking.
Frogtown signed up to host one, and it sort of became like a thing to think about, and just kind of got on my radar. And then to start traveling and doing it. And the interesting thing is, you go to these different qualifying events, and you think you're just going to be playing mostly locals, and Rebecca, who's definitely going to fly out to it. And it's not the case. There was it's almost like the people who follow the Grateful Dead or something. It was like a McRib traveling circus.
Yeah, Frogtown hosted our first one this year. It was amazing.
It was a lot
People
of fun.
from all over.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It sort of had the best of both worlds in the sense that it was a bonspiel, so it was fun. But the competition was serious, but it wasn't over the top. I mean, people were hitting their bedtimes and stuff like that. People were taking it serious, but there was a moment when you realized you were eliminated, and it just became another bonspiel.
Right. Roll.
Silverness. Sitting shot. Didn't get the roll they were hoping for there. I think if they can give Silverness a whole bunch of red to look at on his last, I would call it a success. I don't see them
If they roll under a little bit, he's probably going to have to do the draw.
I think the only downside, a bad result here would be if he were to nose this and give Ron the hit and stay for his last, he might go for it just because he just threw it. I think you'd want to get a little roll here, either outside or in, just to make sure that he has to draw and give yourself the best chance to steal here. This lack of urgency on these sweepers is... I think the line call was great. Oh, they do want the roll. That was aggressive, and they needed to be, so great call.
That's a great shot.
All right.
That's going to force him to draw.
Ron is going to be... Could potentially play the scoreboard and try to get a double nose. With the way that those two are biting the 12, I think a nose double attempt...
That's what he's looking at.
Gets you shot rock and helps out. I don't mind the idea of hitting something. The lead is 3.
I think the risk level is a lot lower. If he tries to draw that and he hasn't done a lot of draws, he could slide through.
Could be a
give him
disaster.
4.
Yeah.
But he's...
Yep. Shout out to
That's
Tim
what they're
Gardner's last stone there, that hit and roll. Giving Ron plenty to think about here. Does look like they're electing to draw.
Yeah.
The double was no gimme, and even if you did make contact, the other pro side to the hit is you give up 1. You know, let's say you're off nose, or you don't get the lineup you wanted on that hit stone, but you only give them up 1. You take hammer into the 7th, up 2. This is about as consequential as it gets.
Sweepers aren't worried about it being heavy.
I think everybody likes it. Everybody but Team Mentor.
Perfect.
Puts it on the lid just to be a show-off.
Rebecca says she is aging out too.
Oh no, Rebecca, we're going out to pasture. We'll have to go up to Two Harbors, I think it is, that does a 10U. The B circuit. I've been watching some 5U up at St. Paul. 5U Nationals are going on right now. Don't click away, you 5 viewers. This is what you want to watch. They're still in round robin play over there. But it has been interesting. The teams that are good are so good. And then there are teams that you would expect to be 5U. They're making 75% of their shots and stuff.
Which is still great for 5.
It's great. It's why they're there. They want a qualifier somewhere in the nation, and it brought them here. But there are some teams that look great. Rebecca, actually, I've got a St. Paul rep here. I don't need to pick on you, but St. Paul needs to do a little bit of an update on the round robin standings, and curling stadiums, curling zones not covering it as far as I can tell.
Really?
So there's no information out there, and I don't like that.
You just have to post a picture of the draw board every once in a while.
Yeah,
We need to be better at that at all spiels.
everyone does, yeah.
Especially with all the cameras, everyone's watching remotely, and
Yeah.
you only know it by asking someone who won this and that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Rebecca is just a fountain of knowledge on 5Us and the
Yeah, she said that
intricacies.
5 years ago it started roughly. First one was out in LA. Schuster was involved.
Oh, interesting. There you go.
How so? He's not a 5U at all.
Ringer. He took it. He won it. No, that does sound familiar. I don't know what his involvement was, but I remember hearing about that.
All right, Joe, I'm going to sign off.
What?
Who's next?
Oh, we'll close out this game with just little old me. But now that I've got everyone in front of me, I can pool up my list of potentials. Shout out to Jason Pereira, who might be watching, but was apparently too busy to come on down and commentate on a game. So we'd be remiss not to dig at him a little bit.
Give him the needle.
Yeah. I'm basically saying, Jason, if I don't get a picture of you like doing some yard work or rotating your tires or something, I'm going to be a little bummed. We have some initial contact with our other buddy, Connor Kaufman, who is tentatively agreeing to do one game. He has his love of his life is in town. She's not always in town, so he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go in the doghouse over this. But
He curls enough.
my hope is that Connor will be, him and I will do all 8 ends of the championship. So hopefully that's how that shakes out.
Are you going to do another season of the podcast?
Yeah, so the podcast, didn't really happen this year because I wanted it to change into, it was a recorded, games where you had to sift through like 100 games sometimes to find the game that actually was interesting and worth covering. So Channel 7 Club Curling was going to become more of a live stream type thing and work with Curling Same to Parent. There were a lot of, and Frogtown kind of being like home to a lot of that. There was a lot of technical issues that you know about, not just with Curling Stadium on their end was doing great, but Frogtown's reliability was sort of suspect. And so it was going to become this thing that was maybe December, January, and all of a sudden it was like January 1st and a lot of these issues weren't resolved, and I just felt like the opportunity had sort of passed. Yeah. And then I could have gone back to, downloading games and editing them and doing it the way before. I felt like the season was past, so it's definitely coming back. We'll just have to kind of work on the format a little bit. An hour-long podcast was taking about somewhere around 4 or 5 hours to make an episode.
Right.
And you get busy with work and the holidays and stuff, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So the idea was, let's find a way to just live stream a game. Get the guests lined up. There's always going to be coordination, and you deal with graphics and stuff like that. But just being able to click on a game that you knew was going to happen, have 2 people remotely commentate on it, and then that was the thing.
2 hours, you're in and out.
You're in and out. So once we can get that, we'll definitely keep going. But I think next year, I wouldn't be surprised if it returns to its old format again. I'll just have a little bit more of a streamlined process, and yeah.
Well, I enjoyed it. I watched all of them.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, and we kind of ran it all the way up to flagpole. So like USA Curling was happy we were doing it, and I think if we can get our numbers up, they would become more involved. So there's a lot of motivation to keep it going and make it successful, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
I have to get an intern or something. You want to be an intern?
No.
Cool.
Process videos.
I don't think you should go anywhere. I think we've got a potentially good comeback story here.
Well, they almost did it last end. I mean, they were right there.
And we do for our, we do have this screen over our head if we have any questions about the house, which has been helpful. Lionel opted for the high one. I don't like this double unless it's a slash double, but
I'm going to keep talking about another event, but Rebecca says the U5 USAC website has the
I should have
standings.
just messaged her in the first place when I couldn't find updates. Okay, St. Paul, you're off the hook. Lionel staying high side might have something here. It's close. Throws his broom in disgust. Just bad sportsmanship. It's kind of like a coach getting a technical. Maybe that's there to fire up the team or something.
Right.
We'll see how aggressive they go. What do you think about? You gotta live and die by this column you've got going, but maybe T-line would be tough to tuck it in there. I think you gotta be fine with back four if that's in line.
There's definitely the shot. You have a guard there you can't see, but you can see it. I heard Chaska is adding the house cameras.
Yeah,
Next.
they might even be in place. I just don't think they got them dialed in time. There was talk that they might even be ready to go for this event, so. That's a great shot. Well, it's tucking out. It's going to give Lionel another opportunity to get into shot stone. I don't know if he can.
You can double that.
We'll see what weight they go for. I think if you go too aggressive to actually just clear double it, you might not get the right angle, but I think moving it into the open is definitely possible. So about normal weight here.
Just setting next to it, and then you can go after it next.
Yeah, good results abound.
No problem.
Not quite removed, but I think they'll be happy with that. Great shot, Lionel. About half tucked. We'll see how aggressive they go with trying to get it to nose. I know that's what they're hoping to do. We'll see if that hack is there to get it going. I think, but getting nose and getting something tucked under is pretty important here. I don't think a force is really going to get you what you want if you're team mentor. I think you've got the center guard up. You've got to play for the steal here. Skip Dave Mentor throwing third rocks. Throws his second.
Sweepers are going on.
It'll break.
It's looking good.
Yeah, it'll break. I think we'll see how far it goes. Not very. So a little down weight. I think he could have got close
Not
to
under
nose
guard.
with a little more. I think they're just discussing the role and where to go. I think you get low side and sit two, you're pretty happy.
Yeah.
Sitting open isn't so bad either. Just sitting open always does open up the chance for that jam.
What do you think they're talking about?
Pace of play. Or lack thereof. Pretty aggressive here. I think he just wants to make it go away, and
I think they called the roll under. It's the preferred shot. Chan is there. You're outside.
I like this because if you do crash the guard, which
they will.
looks likely, the steal I mean, in some ways, that probably should have been the call anyway. That centerline guard was going to give you heartburn for the next couple shots, I think, with it.
That really was preferred. A lot of times you do, plan A, plan B is hit the guard equally, just see what happens. I'll take either one.
Good results either way, yeah. We'll see if Mentor can put it back. Could see it develop where Silverness is going to be asked to make another lid-topping draw on his last. We know he can do it, so. But with that shot rock placement, mid-8.
This has to be a perfect guard.
To the viewers at home, we do have a camera here at the Crooked Pint that does show us the away house. So if you were wondering if red is sitting shot, almost certainly they are. The fact that everybody seems to be focusing on that stone, too, is some indication. I'm a bit confused.
Yeah. I thought they were putting the guard up.
I did, too. So ironically, they were they were set up to force on this one particular end back here, and they went hard for the steal. Now they're set up for the steal, and it looked like the force was the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think that was costly. Even if that shot had been made, I think there would have been an opportunity for a double in either direction. This hit nose should give him 2.
He's going to miss.
Well, look at me. Oh, yeah, just the 1. So,
But now they nose hit for 3 here.
of course, I had my hammers inverted there for a minute. That was the problem with all of my logic, was I had the hammers wrong. So, looks like they put together a really good multiple end. Also explains why they didn't put the center line guard back.
Yeah.
Give Ron the perfect thing to draw under. Okay, important shot coming up.
Looks like they're going to get it and
Yeah.
stay in.
I think coming in nicely here. Tim's ice cold, focused.
Hey, we have a game.
We do have a game here. Ron
Yeah,
Silverness.
never write off a game. You never know.
Yeah, it's curling.
It was 9-1 at one point. Now we're 8-1.
Yeah, yeah. Just grabbing scores in chunks over here on sheet 5. I think there's a lot of pressure on Dakota on both of the Dakota teams because of their club hosting the Cinco de Mayo. These aren't technically the clubs that came through the championship process.
Really?
Yeah, so their first and second teams
Are in the spiel.
are in this meal, or some combination of those players, and so the teams got shuffled. There might be players playing today that did win the championship. I'm not sure. Great scrub. That was a very important stone. A little bit of a smirk on Dave Mentor there. He knows what he's about to do. Let's shock the world.
Yeah, he's got a steal 2, steal 1.
I had in my Denver 5U, we had a team beating us 7-0 that we came back to win on 8-7.
I've seen it.
You saw that game?
No, I mean I've seen
Oh.
this happen, but you don't.
What was funny is
You're
that
playing it. You're like, okay, we're over. It's over.
yeah.
Don't ever say it's over.
Don't ever say it's over. No, Denver. Sure. Thanks.
Thanks.
And there's short staff, so it may just be a couple of minutes.
Okay.
It'll be later anyway.
Okay.
Shout out to the Crooked Pint here in Chaska.
They're on the ball.
Yep.
We got menus in front of us now,
I was
and
watching.
they've been open for 1 minute.
I was watching Chaska Curling Center playoff games, mostly because I'm a curling nerd and I'll watch a game anywhere, but also because I knew this event was coming up and I wanted to see how their camera system was set up. And they had like Taylor Anderson and I can't remember who from Chaska, but they were eating dinner while they commentated. I thought that was interesting. The chicken sandwich is really good here.
Yeah, you don't know how chompy you are when you're. We don't have
It's quite chompy.
we don't have headphones on to hear ourselves.
Yeah.
So talking about blowout games, did you see the St. Paul championship game?
I did.
Dolan won.
I did, yeah.
They were up 7 at one point, and then they ended up coming down to the last rock.
I swear to God, I stopped watching it. I thought it was over.
Yeah.
It came down that close?
Yep.
Wow.
Dolan didn't have to throw his last rock, but he would have if it came that close.
Wow.
Yeah, I diverted to another game too, and I looked over there and like, oh my gosh, they're only 2 down.
I stopped watching it. I said that was enough. That's interesting. Mentor's got the makings of what they need here, but it's not lining up perfect. They need to get either another guard or something in the top 4 or 8.
Hey, what's the standard strategy for a steal? 2 double centers,
Yeah.
shoot for number 2 guard,
Yeah.
and then as it's coming down, decide if you put it 1 or 3,
Pretty much, yeah.
and then the next time you put the other one up.
And just don't take any bait that they're throwing up. They're going to put something on the 4-foot and it looks tempting, and you're going to think maybe I freeze to it or hit that and roll somewhere. It's not until those 2 centers are up, especially when it's not even like tie game. If it's tie game and you need to steal 1, maybe you can get a little more cute. But if you're down 1, it's the only option. I think Silverness has shown that they're super happy hitting. I mean, they hit from all spots in the lineup, and I would say that they're hitting really well too. I would say they're at least 75%. They might be on the wrong side of the nose now and then and rolling the wrong way, but you can't count on them to miss anything. So. That being said, we are looking at Team Mentor, who scored 3 last time because of Silverness missing the open shot that led to the 3.
Yeah.
So
There were a few hits that curled more than they expected.
I think with the way that those 2 staggered there, I think Ron's going to have to really start blowing things up. I think staggering on the top 12 is exactly what Mentor's looking for right here, and they got it. This won't come around, but it'll add to this. Really locked in the stagger too now.
Is there too many guards now to start working on them? That's the trap you always fall into.
Yeah. Now it's a race to the 4-foot, see who gets there first. It doesn't look like Silverness is going to start peeling away things, so. Got a little bit of backing. Initial thought was that it was a little spicy, but sweepers are
on it.
on
but
and
it's
off.
Just, it seems like it's out a
Yeah.
little bit. It's the curling still.
Would love to get this to shot rock.
Here it comes.
Sure is.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah.
does give them an opportunity to go right on top of it, though.
Sure does. Never really came close to any guards, so we know this path is here to get Mentor right on top of that.
I think they opted for a higher guard. Or they were asking about it. No, they're going.
Yeah, I think what he was saying was he was playing through Silverness's next shot. If they don't make this, if we don't make this now, he's guarding there, and we're coming around this side. Yeah, just got to be made. Another one that's got to move. I think you got to keep going. You'd hate to have this one come up light and guard their shot rock. Interesting. We'll see who gets most aggressive with trying to get closer to the center here.
Do we have room for one more rock, and then if they freeze on this, are they guaranteed shot? Or is there room for one more?
I think there's room for two. Yeah.
Hard to tell at this angle.
Yeah, I'm kind of using. I think they're clearly bisecting the back four. I don't think this is covering the T line if it's made. This does look wide and hot.
It is.
Real opportunity.
That's adrenaline talking.
You put one more on, or do you start guarding? I think I would. The fact that there is maybe room for two, I would love to get another one in there, but
they're airing for the light.
Yeah. Reason being, if you did get, at the end of the day, these are open stones. The hit weight is there if you ever saw an angle that you didn't like. But if you truly got one buried, it forces them to deal with it. If you guard this, Silverness has always got their out turn to come around and get the full 4 foot on the other side if this is even made. So
he's done it already.
Yeah. I have it on Sweet Chloe order Evil the Order Food too. But yeah.
I wouldn't want to touch the yellow.
You're going to be get by. Oh.
So it essentially gets to the spot they were hoping to get to.
Yeah, but if they got by that, would it have been buried right on the pin?
Could have been. Yeah. So, yeah, never really identifying that they maybe had a potential, lid shot right there and sweeping it early.
I think he was already ahead, but he was a couple more ahead. Yeah.
So Silverness smartly taking a moment to talk about this. I don't hate Lionel's what he's calling here. You really do deal with two things. You get rid of that guard, and that stagger it's really just giving Mentor an opportunity to really tuck something under. It's a little scary, but I think your yellow shot and the yellow that's involved in the stagger both stay in relatively good spots.
Yeah. Then you have an opportunity to raise in.
Yeah.
If they try to draw, they might raise you in.
Yeah.
Over here, if you're short, you guard yourself. If you're long, you do nothing.
Yep. I mean, even if this is nosed, you leave that in a good spot for a tap. But if you can jiggle those angles on the other side,
It's calling it outside.
that back too. That red was touching 4 before, and now it's back. It's very frozen. I mean, but the scoring area just got larger, which isn't bad for them. I think they know the tap is coming.
Yeah, so do you guard that, or if you hit it out, you got the jam? Risk?
I don't know. I think Mentor's really comfortable with trying to steal this end without having anything in the forefoot, and I think that's not going to cut it. I think I suppose I'm drawing this out turn side, and I'm trying to put the shooter in the forefoot under cover, but you do have some options. If it's over curling, you could tap that red that's top 8 foot there. Your shooter would be blocking off that draw path. You'd probably roll into a yellow tap on the other side, but I think I'm going out turn no matter what here. I'm trying to remember if we've seen this on this end.
So what are they calling?
I don't know
They were
exactly.
tapping 12, but that might have been just like get here at least.
Yeah.
And obviously they want to get under.
Yeah, it really just depends. I mean, if this thing were to stay wide and be sitting open, you've given Silverness, you've given Silverness the opening that they need to get in. But I just don't like guarding what they've got now. It does have the win, right? I mean, they are sitting 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's kind of intriguing, you know, not just taking it to an extra end and having to do this all over again, but actually playing for the win.
We're up to a maximum of 8 watchers. That's a record.
There we go. Well, I'm glad they came. This turned out to be a good game.
Yeah. This is just going to be a guard.
Yeah. You know,
And not in the way, really.
So it's not, and I think it actually hurts him. I think you keep that tap in your back pocket if you need it, but I think you do the out turn yourself, because now with where that guard ended up, it's easier to get around it and be buried.
Yeah.
They're going to opt for the raise.
Yeah. Yeah, no balls. Yeah, right.
So I'd be thinking about, if I'm wide, I kind of open it up for them to come in again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with the tap, the angle, because if made...
You got to have such a precise weight to only push it 3 feet back. But you do have backing if it's hit heavier.
Yeah. Yeah, a little less precise because of that.
Yeah.
Potentially game-saving shot here. I think the weight looks about great
It's got to
for
curl more, though.
how much they're going to be hitting of this. We got a potentially good shot here. Come on. Tough break. Just didn't curl up the way they wanted to. It is frozen to that other yellow, but it's in such a way that they could use that again. I
You
think.
can do the same shot again.
Yeah, I feel like the same shot's going to be there. So I think at this point, you know, Mentor
Yeah.
does need to start hoping that they can win with the stones that they've got.
Can't guard both sides.
So I suppose you block this shot. It's going to be Ron's second attempt at it, and he's going to make the adjustment. So if you're going to force him into a draw, make it be the turn he hasn't done yet. Yeah, I think I'm on board with this.
I think Ron still has to make a decision if he tries the same shot or comes around the side.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where this guard ends up. I mean, I think there's a possibility that it just is taken away and really forces his hand into the side. And now, if he gets too close to it, I don't think it would be silly to think that there could be a tap, tap this shot wherever it lands into your yellow. We are talking about just a couple feet that it needs to go.
Yeah.
We'll see how it lines up. But it's going to feel like deja vu. Ron had a high pressure draw 2 ends ago, and he put that sucker right on the lid. But it was this intern too, so by taking away this shot, they're taking away a shot that he's just thrown and a shot that we've established he can make. I think you want to leave this as high as much as possible. Lionel giving him options, talking about all kinds of other paths, but
A straight draw. And that's how they just went down.
yeah,
All
I
they gotta do
agree.
is touch
That,
blue.
that guard overcurled. I agree with the direction that
It
they
does
seem
give
to be
you a
going.
backing too.
Yeah, it's the path that they've seen. I want to say like the last 5 shots have been down this path for this team. Just got to touch forefoot.
I can find out what
Even if you just get the full white, then you're only up against the tie.
Yeah. Yep. Full 8 foot gets a tie. Touching forefoot gets the win. Ron Sylvanus last, hammer in the 8th. Has the lead, but a ton of pressure being put on him. Sweepers calling hot.
But they're cleaning, so
Oh,
they're
no.
not too worried. I would say it should be
Needs to
off.
slow down.
Oh no.
And we'll roll
That's the
out.
loss for Frogtown.
Team mentor.
That was a comeback of the.
A well-played game. Come back.
that door is still locked up.
Well done, Dakota. Off to a great start. I might have a Dakota update on the other sheet too for you in a second. It looks like they're yellow. I do believe Team Adair has their work cut out for them. They're in the 8th and down by a bundle. So it looks like Dakota's going to split their first round games here.
Probably nearly, looks like they're nearly done on.
But again, really good game. Really good game. Thanks for sticking around, guys. We will be back on for the next draw.
It was fun.
Next draw is today we are at 9-1, and tomorrow
Yes.
we're 10-2, right?
Correct.
So
So
I
we're
will
off
see-
to draw the button contest now, or for not a contest. Draw the button for the
Yeah.
tiebreakers.
So
then
pay attention to Facebook. We'll announce the strongest sweeper contest results winner. I'll have time now in between draws. I'll be putting up updates as for our next games and all of that. So for Joe Whitmer and Peter Hovland of the TCCA, thank you. We'll see you guys later.
See ya.